What's your full name?
My full name is Olivia Fernandez, but most people just call me Olivia. It's simple and easy to remember.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from a small town near Lisbon, Portugal. It's a quiet place with a lot of charm and friendly people.
Do you work or study?
I'm currently a university student studying environmental science. I'm passionate about sustainability and hope to make a difference in that field.
What do you like to do in your free time?
In my spare time, I love reading novels, especially historical fiction. I also enjoy going for walks in the park. It helps me unwind and clear my mind.
Do you prefer mornings or evenings?
Definitely evenings. I find I'm more focused and creative at night. Plus, I enjoy the calm atmosphere after a long day.
Do you enjoy traveling?
Yes, I absolutely love traveling. It gives me the chance to experience different cultures, meet new people, and step out of my comfort zone. Every trip teaches me something new.
What's your favorite type of holiday?
I prefer nature-based holidays, like hiking in the mountains or exploring national parks. I find being surrounded by natural beauty incredibly refreshing and peaceful.
Do you use public transport often?
I do, especially during the week. It's much more convenient and eco-friendly than driving, and it gives me time to read or listen to music while commuting.
How often do you go to the cinema?
Not very often these days, to be honest. I usually watch movies at home, but I still enjoy the cinema experience now and then, especially for big blockbusters.
Do you enjoy trying new foods from other countries?
Yes, absolutely. I think food is one of the most exciting ways to explore another culture. Whenever I travel, or even just visit a new restaurant, I love trying dishes I've never had before. It opens up your senses and often teaches you something about the local traditions or way of life. I find it both adventurous and rewarding.
What kind of music do you like?
I enjoy a wide range of music, but I tend to gravitate toward indie and acoustic genres. There's something calming and raw about the simplicity of those sounds.
Do you like going to concerts?
Definitely. Live music has an energy that you just can't get from recordings. It's such a fun and immersive experience, especially when the crowd connects with the artist.
What's your favorite season of the year?
I'd have to say spring. I love how everything starts to bloom again, and the weather is just right, not too hot or cold. It feels like a fresh start.
Do you prefer living in the city or the countryside?
That's a tough one, but I'd probably choose the city because of the convenience and energy. That said, I do appreciate the peace and quiet of the countryside when I need to recharge.
Do you prefer reading books or watching movies?
I enjoy both, but if I had to choose, I'd go with reading. Books let you dive deeper into characters' thoughts and the world they're in. It's a more personal and imaginative experience.
Do you like art?
Yes, I really do. I might not be an expert, but I appreciate the emotion and creativity behind different forms of art, especially painting and photography.
Do you usually remember your dreams?
Not always, but when I do, They're usually quite vivid and strange. I find dreams fascinating because they often reflect things we're feeling subconsciously.
Do you enjoy shopping?
I'm not a huge fan of shopping just for the sake of it, but I do enjoy it when I need something specific, or if I'm in a new city and want to explore local stores.
Do you often take photos?
Yes, quite regularly. I enjoy capturing little moments, especially when I'm traveling or spending time with friends. It's a nice way to preserve memories.
Do you prefer taking photos or being in them?
I definitely prefer taking photos. I like being behind the camera and finding interesting angles. It feels more creative and less awkward than posing.
What's your favorite way to relax?
For me, the best way to relax is listening to music in a quiet room, maybe with a cup of tea. It helps me unwind and reset after a busy day.
Do you usually get enough sleep?
Not always, but I try to. I know how important sleep is, so I've been working on keeping a better routine and avoiding screens late at night.
Are you good at managing your time?
I think so. I use a planner to organize my tasks and set priorities. Of course, I have off days, but generally I'm quite disciplined.
Do you like animals?
Yes, I've always loved animals. I find them fascinating and comforting to be around. If I had more space, I'd probably adopt a few more pets.
Have you ever had a pet?
I have. I had a golden retriever named Max when I was growing up. He was incredibly loyal and playful, more like a family member than just a pet.
Do you enjoy spending time outdoors?
Absolutely. I feel much more relaxed when I'm in nature. Even a short walk outside helps clear my head and lift my mood.
What do you usually do on weekends?
My weekends are pretty laid back. I usually catch up on rest, meet friends for coffee, and sometimes take a short trip out of town if I feel like exploring.
Do you like trying new foods?
Yes, I'm quite adventurous when it comes to food. I think trying local dishes is one of the best ways to experience a new culture.
Do you often watch the news?
Yes, I try to stay updated. I usually check news apps in the morning and sometimes watch summaries online in the evening. It helps me feel more connected to what's happening in the world.
Do you prefer local or international news?
I follow both. Local news keeps me informed about things that directly affect my daily life, while international news gives me a broader perspective on global issues.
Do you often listen to music while studying or working?
I do, but I usually pick instrumental or soft background music. Lyrics can be distracting, but ambient sounds help me concentrate and stay in the zone.
Have you ever volunteered?
Yes, I volunteered at a community food bank during university. It was a humbling experience that taught me a lot about empathy and the importance of giving back.
Do you like learning new things?
Absolutely. I think learning keeps life exciting and meaningful. Whether it's a new language, skill, or idea, I enjoy the challenge and the growth that comes with it.
Do you like cooking?
Yes, I really enjoy cooking. It's a relaxing activity for me, and I love experimenting with new recipes. There's something satisfying about creating a dish from scratch and seeing others enjoy it.
How often do you eat out?
Probably once or twice a week. I like trying different cuisines, especially when I don't have the time or energy to cook at home.
Do you prefer sweet or savory food?
I lean towards savory food. I enjoy strong, spicy, and salty flavors more than sugary ones, though I do have the occasional sweet tooth.
Do you like going to the cinema?
Yes, I love the whole experience. The big screen, surround sound, and the atmosphere. It's a great way to unwind and fully immerse yourself in a story.
What kind of movies do you enjoy?
I'm a big fan of dramas and thrillers. I enjoy stories with strong characters and plot twists that keep me thinking long after the movie ends.
Do you prefer traveling alone or with others?
It depends, but generally I prefer traveling with close friends. It's more fun to share the experience, and we can split responsibilities like planning and navigating. That said, I do enjoy solo trips when I want to reflect and recharge.
Do you like visiting new places?
Absolutely. I love the feeling of discovering something for the first time. Whether it's a new city, a hidden cafe, or a scenic trail, it keeps life exciting and inspires creativity.
How do you usually plan your trips?
I like to do a mix of research and spontaneity. I usually book accommodation and transport in advance, but I leave some space in my itinerary to explore freely or go where the locals recommend.
What type of accommodation do you prefer when traveling?
I prefer boutique hotels or cozy guest houses. They often have more character and a personal touch compared to big chain hotels. If I'm traveling for longer, I might choose an Airbnb for the extra comfort and space.
Do you prefer traveling by plane, train, or car?
I enjoy train travel the most. It's more relaxing, there's less hassle than at airports, and the scenery along the way can be beautiful, especially in the countryside.
Do you often read books?
Yes, I try to read regularly, especially fiction. It helps me relax and escape from daily stress. Even if I'm busy, I try to read a few pages before bed.
What kind of books do you like?
I enjoy novels with strong storytelling, anything from literary fiction to psychological thrillers. I'm also drawn to books that explore human emotions or social issues.
Do you prefer physical books or e-books?
I prefer physical books. I love the feel of turning pages and the smell of paper. It's a more immersive experience. But I do use e-books when I travel for convenience.
Do you think reading habits are changing?
Definitely. With smartphones and streaming services, people read less than before. That said, audiobooks and digital platforms have made reading more accessible to others who may not have picked up a book otherwise.
Have you ever recommended a book to someone?
Yes, many times. If I come across a book that moves me or makes me think deeply, I always want to share it with someone who I think would appreciate it.
Describe a piece of technology you can't live without. You should say what it is, what you use it for, how long you've had it, and explain why it is important to you.
A piece of technology I absolutely can't imagine living without is my smartphone. I've been using one for several years now, and it has become such an integral part of both my daily routine and overall lifestyle that I honestly wouldn't know what to do without it. I primarily use it to stay connected with family and friends. Messaging apps, voice notes, and video calls allow me to keep in touch with people no matter where they are in the world. Especially during times when I can't meet someone face to face, my phone helps bridge that gap and maintain relationships. Besides communication, I also use it for organization and productivity. I rely on apps like Google Calendar to keep track of appointments and deadlines. I use note-taking apps to jot down ideas or make shopping lists, and I even use reminders to help me stick to healthy habits, like drinking enough water or taking a short walk. Another huge benefit is that my smartphone is a powerful learning tool. I use it to access language learning apps, listen to educational podcasts, watch YouTube tutorials, and read ebooks. It gives me the flexibility to learn new things on the go, whether I'm waiting in line or commuting. What makes it truly invaluable is how versatile and compact it is. It's not just a phone, it's my camera, GPS, translator, fitness tracker, alarm clock, and sometimes even my wallet. It has saved me so much time and energy, whether I'm navigating a new place or editing a document on the fly. Although I try to be mindful of screen time and avoid overusing it, I still deeply appreciate how much this one device helps simplify my life. In many ways, it's like having a personal assistant in my pocket. Without it, I would feel quite disconnected and disorganized.
Describe a meal you enjoyed recently. You should say where you had it, who you were with, what you ate, and explain why you enjoyed it.
A meal I enjoyed recently was a homemade pasta dish I prepared for my family just last weekend. It was a quiet Saturday evening, and I felt like doing something special, so I searched online and came across a new recipe for creamy chicken pasta with garlic and fresh herbs. It looked delicious, and I already had most of the ingredients at home, so I decided to give it a try. I started by marinating the chicken with some lemon juice, garlic, and Italian herbs. Then I pan-seared it until golden and juicy. I also made the sauce from scratch using fresh cream, Parmesan cheese, garlic, and a bit of white pepper. For the side dish, I roasted some seasonal vegetables like carrots, zucchini, and bell peppers with olive oil and rosemary. The aroma that filled the kitchen while everything was cooking was absolutely mouth-watering. Once everything was ready, we all sat down together, my parents, my younger brother and I, and enjoyed the meal. Everyone complimented the flavors, especially the sauce, which was rich but not too heavy. My family kept saying I should make it again soon, which really made me happy. But more than the food itself, what made this meal truly special was the quality time we spent together. These days, everyone is busy with work or studies, so sharing a relaxed meal like this felt really meaningful. We talked, laughed, and simply enjoyed each other's company. Cooking for my loved ones and seeing their happiness gave me a real sense of satisfaction. It reminded me how food can bring people closer and create memories that last much longer than the meal itself.
Describe a goal you set and achieved. You should say what the goal was, why you set it, how you worked to achieve it, and how you felt when you achieved it.
One goal I'm proud of achieving was running a half marathon last year. I set the goal because I wanted to challenge myself physically and mentally. I followed a strict training schedule for a few months, gradually building up my stamina. Some days were really tough, but I stayed motivated by tracking my progress. Crossing the finish line was such a powerful moment. I felt exhausted, but incredibly accomplished. It showed me what I'm capable of when I commit to something fully.
Describe a piece of advice you received that was really helpful. You should say who gave it to you, what the advice was, when you received it, and explain why it was helpful.
One piece of advice that stuck with me came from my older sister. She once told me, "Don't compare your journey to anyone else's. Focus on your own path." I was going through a rough patch, feeling like I wasn't making progress while others seemed to be moving ahead. Her words helped me stop overthinking and concentrate on my own goals and pace. It's a simple idea, but it changed how I see setbacks and achievements.
Describe a skill you'd like to learn. You should say what the skill is, why you want to learn it, how you plan to learn it, and how it would benefit you.
One skill I'd really like to learn is public speaking. Although I can communicate well in one-on-one conversations, I often feel nervous and self-conscious when I have to speak in front of a group, especially in formal or professional settings. That's why I want to become more confident and articulate when delivering speeches or presentations. I believe this skill is essential for both personal growth and career development. As someone who's interested in education and possibly working in international organizations in the future, I know I'll often be required to express ideas clearly, persuade others, or lead discussions. Public speaking can open doors to leadership opportunities, teaching roles, and professional networking events. To improve this skill, I plan to take a structured approach. First, I'll enroll in a public speaking course, possibly online through platforms like Coursera or Udemy. These usually include lessons on body language, voice modulation, and handling nervousness. I also want to join a local or online Toastmasters group, which provides a supportive environment to practice speaking regularly and receive constructive feedback. Additionally, I'll watch TED Talks and study how experienced speakers structure their ideas and engage with the audience. Learning public speaking would benefit me in many ways. It would not only help me express myself more clearly and confidently, but also boost my self-esteem and help me stay calm under pressure. Furthermore, it would allow me to share my ideas more effectively, whether I'm giving a presentation, speaking at a conference, or even creating content for YouTube or podcasts. Overall, I see it as a skill that would empower me in both my personal and professional life, and I'm excited to start working on it.
Describe an activity you do to stay healthy. You should say what the activity is, how often you do it, how it helps you, and explain why it is important to your health.
One activity I do regularly to stay healthy is yoga. I started practicing it a couple of years ago, and now I do it about 4 or 5 times a week. I usually follow online classes from home, and sometimes I attend in-person sessions at a local studio. What I love about yoga is that it's not just a physical workout, it also helps me clear my mind and reduce stress. The stretching and breathing exercises improve my flexibility and posture, which is great because I spend a lot of time sitting at a desk. Over time, I've noticed I sleep better and feel more balanced, both mentally and physically. It's become more than just exercise for me. It's part of my self-care routine. I think it's so important to find a physical activity that you enjoy, because then it doesn't feel like a chore.
Describe something you own, which is very important to you. You should say what it is, where you got it from, how long you've had it, and explain why it is important to you.
One of the most important things I own is a wristwatch that my grandfather gave me. It's a simple, classic design, silver with a leather strap, but it holds a lot of sentimental value. He gave it to me just before I graduated from high school, as a symbol of moving into adulthood. He wore it for many years, so it's a bit worn, but I actually like that. It feels like a piece of his life story that I get to carry with me. I've had it for almost 10 years now, and even though I have other watches, this is the one I wear on special occasions. It reminds me of him, his values, his wisdom, and the bond we shared. I think the emotional connection is what makes it so meaningful. Every time I look at it, I'm reminded to stay grounded and appreciate the people who've shaped my life. It's not just a watch, it's a memory and a quiet source of motivation.
Describe a place you visited that left a strong impression on you. You should say where it was, when you went there, what you did there, and explain why it made such an impression on you.
One place that left a lasting impression on me was Kyoto, Japan. I visited it a couple of years ago during the autumn season when the maple leaves were turning vivid shades of red and gold. It was like stepping into a painting. I spent 4 days there, exploring ancient temples like Kiyomizu-dera and Fushimi-inari, with its endless path of red torii gates. The atmosphere was incredibly serene. I also took part in a traditional tea ceremony and visited a bamboo forest that was so peaceful it almost felt otherworldly. What struck me most was how well the city balanced the old and the new. You'd walk past centuries-old shrines and then find a modern coffee shop around the corner. The people were incredibly respectful, and everything, from the architecture to the food, felt thoughtful and meaningful. Kyoto made me slow down and pay attention to the little things. The sound of the wind in the trees, the taste of freshly made matcha, and the beauty of quiet moments. It wasn't just a vacation, it was a lesson in mindfulness. I've wanted to go back ever since.
Describe a person who has inspired you. You should say who the person is, how you know them, what qualities they have, and explain how they have inspired you.
One person who has truly inspired me is my former high school English teacher, Mr. Davis. He wasn't just a great teacher. He was someone who genuinely cared about his students and believed in their potential. I first met him in my sophomore year, and from the very first class, he stood out. He made literature come alive in a way I'd never experienced before. More than that, he encouraged us to think deeply, ask questions, and express ourselves confidently. He didn't just teach us how to write essays, he taught us how to find our voice. What really inspired me was his passion. You could tell he loved what he did, and that energy was contagious. Even students who didn't normally enjoy reading started participating more. He also took time to give detailed feedback and was always willing to stay after class if someone needed help. Personally, he inspired me to pursue writing and take it seriously. He once told me, "Your words have weight, use them wisely." That stuck with me, and I think about it every time I write something important. He showed me the power of education and how one person's belief in you can make a lasting impact. I still keep in touch with him, and every time I achieve something related to writing or communication, I feel like I owe part of that to him.
Do you think reading is still important today?
Absolutely. Even though we live in a digital world, reading provides depth and context that you often can't get from short videos or social media posts. It's a great way to build empathy, expand knowledge, and improve language skills.
How can people be encouraged to read more?
I think it starts with making reading more accessible and relatable. Schools and libraries could organize engaging book clubs or events. Also, showcasing diverse authors and genres can spark interest in people who haven't yet found what they love to read.
Do you think people read less now because of technology?
In a way, yes. With so many distractions, like streaming services and social media, people might not prioritize reading as much. But at the same time, technology has made books more accessible through e-readers and audiobooks, which is a positive shift.
What are the advantages of reading physical books compared to digital ones?
Physical books offer a sensory experience that digital ones can't replicate. The smell of the pages, the weight in your hands. Also, reading from paper reduces eye strain and helps with focus, as you're less likely to be distracted by notifications.
What qualities make someone inspirational?
I think it's a mix of authenticity, resilience, and compassion. Inspirational people often overcome challenges, stay true to themselves, and uplift others along the way.
Do you think young people today have good role models?
It depends. While there are definitely positive role models out there, like activists, scientists, and artists, social media sometimes glorifies fame over substance. It's important for young people to learn how to choose wisely.
How can someone become a good role model?
By living with integrity, being consistent in their actions, and showing empathy. People look up to those who not only succeed, but who do so with humility and purpose.
Are famous people always good role models?
Not necessarily. Some celebrities lead by example, using their platform to promote good causes, but others may not act responsibly. It really depends on the individual and their values.
Why do people like to travel?
I think people travel to broaden their horizons. Experiencing new cultures, languages, and landscapes helps us grow and see the world from different perspectives. It also adds excitement and variety to life.
Do you think it's better to travel alone or with others?
It depends on the person and the purpose of the trip. Traveling alone gives you freedom and time for self-reflection, while traveling with others can be more fun, and shared experiences often create lasting memories.
How has travel changed in recent years?
Travel has become more accessible thanks to budget airlines and technology. Planning trips is easier than ever, and people are now more focused on unique, local experiences rather than just sightseeing.
Do you think tourism is always good for a country?
Not always. While tourism can boost the economy and create jobs, it can also lead to overcrowding and environmental damage if not managed properly. Sustainable tourism is the key to finding a balance.
Why is it important to set goals?
Goals give us direction and purpose. They help us stay focused and motivated, especially when we face challenges. Without goals, it's easy to lose track of what we want to achieve.
What kinds of goals do young people usually have?
Young people often focus on education, career, and personal development. Many aim to graduate, find a good job, or travel and gain life experience before settling down.
Are goals more important for individuals or for society?
I'd say both. Personal goals drive individual growth, while collective goals, like addressing climate change or improving education, can lead to meaningful progress for society as a whole.
How can people stay motivated to reach their goals?
Breaking big goals into smaller, manageable steps helps a lot. Celebrating small wins, staying organized, And having supportive people around you can make a huge difference too.
Is it always a good idea to follow other people's advice?
Not always. Advice can be useful, but it's important to think critically about whether it fits your situation. What works for one person might not work for another.
Why do people give advice?
I think people give advice because they want to help or share their experiences. Sometimes it's a way of showing support or offering a different perspective that the other person might not have considered.
What's the difference between good advice and bad advice?
Good advice is usually thoughtful, practical, and tailored to your situation. Bad advice tends to be rushed, generic, or based on assumptions without understanding the full picture.
Do people today rely too much on advice from the internet?
In some cases, yes. While the internet offers a lot of helpful information, it also spreads misinformation. People should be cautious and cross-check sources instead of blindly trusting everything they read.
Is it more important to learn practical skills or academic knowledge?
Both are valuable, but I'd say practical skills have a more immediate impact on everyday life. That said, academic knowledge provides the foundation for understanding complex issues and thinking critically.
What's the best way to learn a new skill?
I think the best way is through consistent practice and hands-on experience. Learning by doing tends to stick more than just reading about something. Feedback from others also helps a lot.
Are there any skills that are becoming less useful these days?
Certain manual or outdated technical skills, like using fax machines or handwriting letters, are less common now. But I believe even old skills can still be valuable in specific contexts.
Do older and younger people learn differently?
Yes, often they do. Younger people tend to pick things up faster, especially when it comes to technology, while older learners might take more time but often have stronger discipline and focus.
Do you think it's important to keep learning new skills throughout life?
Absolutely. In today's fast-paced world, things are constantly changing, especially with technology and the job market. Learning new skills helps people stay relevant, adapt to new challenges, and remain competitive. But even beyond careers, learning can keep the mind sharp and give people a sense of purpose and confidence. It's a great way to grow both professionally and personally.
How can governments encourage healthier lifestyles?
Governments can promote public health by funding parks, organizing wellness programs, regulating food advertising, and making healthy food more affordable. Education campaigns can also make a huge difference in raising awareness.
Why do some people find it hard to stay healthy?
A lot of people struggle with time, motivation, or access. With busy schedules, it's easy to neglect health. Some also live in areas without good facilities or affordable food options, which makes healthy living more difficult.
Is it more difficult to stay healthy today than in the past?
In some ways, yes. Modern lifestyles often involve long hours sitting, high stress, and easy access to unhealthy food. On the other hand, we now have more knowledge and resources, so it depends on how we choose to use them.
Should schools teach more about health and fitness?
Definitely. Instilling healthy habits from a young age can have a lasting impact. If children learn the value of nutrition, exercise, and mental health early on, they're more likely to carry those habits into adulthood.
Why do people become attached to certain objects?
I think it's often about the memories or emotions connected to them. An object can symbolize a relationship, a milestone, or a meaningful experience that people want to hold on to.
Do material things bring happiness?
They can bring short-term satisfaction, but long-term happiness usually comes from relationships and meaningful experiences. Still, certain items, especially those with emotional value, can enhance that happiness.
How has consumer culture changed in recent years?
People now buy more frequently and often value quantity over quality. However, there's also a growing awareness about sustainability and minimalism, so some are shifting toward more mindful consumption.
Do you think people are more materialistic now than in the past?
In many ways, yes. Advertising and social media often encourage people to equate success with possessions. That said, there's also a counter-trend of people rejecting materialism in favor of simpler, more meaningful lifestyles.
What type of accommodation do you prefer when traveling?
I prefer boutique hotels or cozy guest houses. They often have more character and a personal touch compared to big chain hotels. If I'm traveling for longer, I might choose an Airbnb for the extra comfort and space.
Do you prefer traveling by plane, train or car?
I enjoy train travel the most. It's more relaxing, there's less hassle than at airports, and the scenery along the way can be beautiful, especially in the countryside.
Do you prefer traveling alone or with others?
It depends, but generally I prefer traveling with close friends. It's more fun to share the experience, and we can split responsibilities like planning and navigating. That said, I do enjoy solo trips when I want to reflect and...
How do you usually plan your trips?
I like to do a mix of research and spontaneity. I usually book accommodation and transport in advance, but I leave some space in my itinerary to explore freely or go where the locals recommend.
Do you like visiting new places?
Absolutely. I love the feeling of discovering something for the first time, whether it's a new city, a hidden cafe, or a scenic trail. It keeps life exciting and inspires creativity.
What qualities make someone inspirational?
I think it's a mix of authenticity, resilience, and a willingness to uplift others. People who inspire us usually lead by example and stay true to their values, even during tough times.
Can celebrities be good role models?
Some can, especially those who use their platform to raise awareness or support important causes. But others may not set the best example, so it really depends on their behavior, not their fame.
Is it important for children to have role models?
Absolutely. Role models give children a sense of direction and help them understand values like kindness, perseverance, or hard work. The right role model can shape a child's character and confidence.
Do you think people's role models change as they grow older?
Yes, definitely. As we grow and face new challenges, we tend to admire different qualities. A child might look up to a superhero, while an adult might be inspired by someone who overcame adversity or made a difference in their community.